The next thing we're going to work on is the service description component. So we are going to be editing the service controller, and we are going to be adding a get and a post for a descriptions action method. So this can go right below your index. And let's see, this is my action, there it is. And descriptions is what we're calling it. And this is going to be our get. And get is the default, so we don't have to put in any kind of attributes for that. And we know we're going to return a view on here. That's the action result we're returning. But what we want to pass to the view is basically a list of our services. And then the view is going to display a little drop-down list so that they can pick one of the services, submit it, and get a description of what that service is. So that's how this is supposed to work. So we're going to do a view bag on this, and we're going to call it classifications. And we're going to set that equal to the context.services.toList. So we're sending all of the services to a list, and we're storing it in the view bag, which is going to get passed on to our view. And the view is going to display this drop-down list. Once they pick an item from the list and submit it, the control is going to come back into the controller that we're in. So we do need to have a post on this. And what the post is going to do is it's going to look at what they've selected, and it's going to send them to different views depending on what they select, right? So if they wanted to see what the full treatment package was, we're going to send them to the full treatment view. They want to see what a half treatment package is, we're going to send them to the half treatment view. So this is going to be somewhat similar to what we had for the first one. So I'm going to start by copying and pasting it and then adjust. So in the post, we are going to get our model, right? They're going to fill in what they want and send it back. So we're going to pull in the model, and we're going to be routing them to different views. So we are going to create a little view name variable, and we'll be filling that in based on what they pick. So we are going to do a switch on the classification that they chose. So we can access it using our model object dot classification. And remember, classification is it's a property that is in our services model. Okay, so we're going to do a switch on what they pick. And so we will be checking for full. So if they pick full, then the view name is going to be full. And we're going to do, oops, got to spell break right. And so if we look we're in the service controller. We look at our service views. You'll see there is one called full. And we're going to need one called half, one called 2, 1, and then we're going to set a default. So this is going to be half. This is going to be 2. This is going to be 1. And this is going to be default. And for default, the view name is going to be other. And for 1, it's 1 with a lowercase. It's 2 is 2 spelled lowercase. Half is half spelled in lowercase. All right, there is our switch. Then we have return view, and we're going to put in the view name that they picked, and we're going to pass along the model. So at this point, we have our get and our post. And so what we need to still create is the descriptions CSHTML file that has the drop-down list. Because remember, this list is getting sent to that page, and that page does not exist. So we're going to right-click on Service, Add, and choose View. It's going to be an empty one. And we're going to call it Descriptions. So in our description view, what we are going to be doing is creating a tiny, short little form. All it's going to have in it is a drop-down list. And because we have entered this type of code before, you can copy paste if you want to. And what we've got for the first line is we are connecting to our services model. And really the only thing from that model that we're displaying is the classification. And so we have our opening and closing form. We have a div that's identifying a group. And then we are connecting our label to classification. And we have a select that we are also connecting to classification. Now, the controller is sending us the view bag, but it is not in a select list. And if we want ASP items to generate all of the options, it needs to be in a select list. So what we can do in the view is convert it into a select list here. And that is what we're doing. So we're taking the view bag classification as our list. We are connecting it to the classification in the model. And then we are also displaying the classification. Okay, and you'll notice that we added form control. I also added a little styling because if you don't limit the width, it goes across the page, which you'll see when we run this. It looks ridiculous because the text in the list is short. So I'm going to save everything and we're going to run it. And we'll go into service descriptions and see all of the items are so short. To have this expand the entire width is ridiculous. So I just threw in a little style to limit the width. And then if we want to see the description, we just select it. We can go back and get a different one. And that does seem to be working. And so I'm going to exit out.